Welcome to the Action and Ambition podcast. I'm your host today, Chase Geyser, and with us we have a very special guest, Prabhu Patil. Prolim is a leading global provider of end-to-end PLM, IT, and IoT software products and solutions, offering a broad range of services and solutions in strategy, consulting, digital technology, and operations. Prabhu, it's an honor and a pleasure to have you on the Action and Ambition podcast. How are you today, sir?
I'm awesome. Thank you, Chase. Nice meeting you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, one of the questions I like to start with when speaking with such distinguished entrepreneurs as yourself is where was your mind at when you were 18?
So when I was 18, when I was in India. I was not aware of what to do, but I just wanted to be an engineer. So I was looking for an engineering school to get admission and became a successful engineer.
I see. And so that was how this started for you. You became an engineer yourself before starting your own output.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, I started an engineer, a bachelor of engineering, master of engineering. That led me to become a space scientist, and that helped me to continue my growth into towards becoming an entrepreneur.
So, what was your first professional role after you got your engineering credentials?
So I started my career out of campus. I was selected a scientist for surface to air missiles program,
Hmm.
where I went through different systems, understand computer engineering, controls, and all kinds of different systems to build and launch intercontinental missiles. Basically, applying this technology to build those missiles. That's how we started my career.
And were you doing that work for India or for the United States? I'm curious to know.
Yeah, I was looking for an India. I was an India scientist for 3.5 years, and then later I moved into the US side.
I see. So, when did you make the decision to move to the United States, or are you not in the United States today?
That's about after working 3.5 years. I was applying this CAD CAM PLM technology to build these missiles. So then I
Hmm.
got more fascinated by that technology. And the United States was a leader in these technologies. I was using US based company called PTC using their software to design those missiles. So then I got joined that company in India and then later over moved to US and started pursuing my career in that technology.
When did you decide to start Prolim?
So when I continue my journey as in this PLM technology, I learned that lots of technologies. I honed on to technology skills, some of the leadership skills, project management, program management, product development, etc. Then I found that I have a little. I didn't get an exposure and experience into sales, marketing, finance side of the world. Then I thought I should do an MBA. As a part of that program, I was looking at top business schools in the country. Then I saw that I need to write in top university needed an essay. What do you do after 10 years completing MBA? So that's my kicker. So I spent a lot of time, 3.5 months, to develop my essay that, hey, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to own my company. And then I wrote this essay that I want to be an entrepreneur, and that helped me to got into admission at the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, and that started my entrepreneurial thinking and made me today.
I see. What year was it that you started the business?
So I started the business in 2005.
Wow, coming up on almost 20 years.
Yes, yes, we are. Since then, we started bootstrapped with zero debt, zero funding from outside, and fantastic growth since then.
What was it like starting a business right before a global sort of financial recession?
It's very scary. It is like butterflies are always stomach in the stomach. Every day and night it'll be a little bit scary, but I have the confidence because I built from scratch. When you build from scratch, there's nothing to lose. and also you know your business. I know this technology very, very well. And this PLM and IoT technologies are enablers for innovation. So in no matter what crisis, a global economic crisis or pandemic is, the innovation is the fuel for growth. So every company is, whether automotive industry, aerospace, defense, manufacturing, med device, they all need that innovation. And we are in the forefront of this innovation wave. Hence, I wasn't much worried at all. There is concern, but not worries.
Hmm. How has the technology changed since 2005? I know that's a loaded question, but I'm curious to know.
The technology, if you look at olden days, typically all the technology was siloed as a mechanical engineering or electronics engineering or software engineering. See, for example, if all the automotive cars, if you look at, they're heavy on mechanical and electronics. But since, or any product for that matter, now we call them smart products. Everything transformed into it's what you call mechatronics, mechanical, electronics, and software. Everything is driven by software nowadays. If you look at Tesla, they call it as a technology company. They're not a auto company. If you look at iPhone, anything you look at, they're all software driven. Hence, the engineering, the products are becoming more and more complex, and the system view of that product that solves the business problem or solves the customers or consumers are going to flourish. Hence, the technology is completely changed since then.
Hmm. What was it like going through the pandemic? Did that really have an impact on your business, or given the nature of the niche that you fill and operate in, is it pretty much sustainable no matter what the global climate is?
Yeah, it was in the when the pandemic hit in March, a few years ago. That time in March we didn't feel that, but in April, May we were started feeling some jittery with our customers. Are all everybody's worried because nobody's going to work. May months were a little concerned, and we have some projects got canceled. But since then, once everybody understood to the new world, because we are in this technology, like anybody else, the technology drove the digital transformation. So being the forefront, we instead of where companies are laying off, we looked at an opportunity to hire those smart people from the market and use that reinventing ourselves into different directions and helped to transform. We grew over 30% year after year since then.
Wow, that's incredible. What would you say is something that you know now that you wish you would have known when you started the business in 2005?
I think we started starting as a cloud services provider to start with, but it was very limited in scope because every manufacturing and auto customers were registering for that. We started slow on that, but as we saw the now everything is cloud. So had we go more accelerated that time, I think would have been much bigger growth by now. But we continued on a slow path. But during the COVID, we accelerated that, and hence we are significantly growing. We grew 45% last 2 years, year after year.
Now, as part of that growth, can it be attributed to the conflict in Ukraine, or is it totally unrelated?
It's totally unrelated.
Hmm.
Ukraine, it didn't affect us at all.
I see. I see. So, what are your goals for the business over the next couple of years? Where would you like to see it by 2025?
So we want to continue the momentum of growth. We are in a rightly positioned. Again, our focus is all about innovation. We have three pillars that drive that innovation. The one pillar we call PLM Factory, which is basically how to build the product faster, cheaper to the market. Second one is a low-code platform, which is based on Mendix, where instead of taking months of time to writing the Java or a code to develop those applications, now with the low code platform, we can go very quickly to the market. Instead of 9 months, it will take a month to deliver that. We're helping customers in that. The third one is the cloud, which is we are strengthened our cloud practice on AWS and Azure cloud. So those are the three pillars are accelerating our growth. And by 2025, we want to be double our business.
Wow, that's incredible. I'm curious to know if artificial intelligence has had an impact on your business. Obviously, it's all the talk in the tech space, just generally speaking. I know that a lot of content creators and people in the digital marketing space are really making use of things like ChatGPT and other tools. Is that something that's come into play in your work in terms of helping with code development?
Yes, it is. It is. We have started. We train all our employees on AI framework, AI tools, and also when the Chat GPT 4.0 came in, within few days we trained our employees. We are heavily leveraging the AI technologies, whether it is a for the marketing program, for example, finding leads from the market. The Chat GPT helps to figure out forming a list of industry or the companies in those geographies, whether it
Mm-hmm.
is developing the digital assets, whether it is drafting a legal document, for example. So that is helping from our internal operations per se, but on the customer side, we are embedding this AI engine into our development of our products to not only using ML to learn what's about the behaviors or the action need to be taken, but also applying this AI engine to come up with these heuristic solutions to solve those problems. So the ML and AI are very, very critical when it comes to IoT space.
That's fascinating. What sort of impact, and I know this is a broad question, but what sort of impact do you think AI is going to have on technology development just as a whole over the next 10 years?
So the low code platform itself helped to um, reduce the dependency of the heavy developers to write that code, right? Already by dragging and dropping those widgets. But
Right.
now when the AI is accelerating further, whether it is proofreading that algorithm or whether it is a um, checking writing some code. For example, if you write the AI and ask to write me the a code for this, it is generating those codes very quickly and more accurately. So it will basically improve the productivity of all our development team to accelerate further. Definitely, it will helping it bringing all the wealth of knowledge. When as we speak to our customers, the customers are also facing tremendous pressure with their aging population. Many of them are retired during this pandemic. Hence, that knowledge is the grassroots knowledge is lost. So with the AI, you can capture some of that knowledge into the company and becomes your pretty much asset to solve some of those business problems. It's definitely making a big impact.
Sure, that makes a lot of sense. Would you say that in the context of national defense and some of these technologies that you're working on, that those who don't properly adopt the use of the tool that is AI will fall behind? Because I imagine that a lot of potential security risks in the context of the United States, like the Chinas or the Russias, perhaps have less monetary resources in order to develop technology. But with AI, you can really overcome a lot of those monetary restrictions. So is this given competitors or enemies or security threats an advantage over the United States? This new technology is something that we have to take really seriously.
Yeah, definitely, because with given the budget constraints, right? We heard last week that there is a they did not increase the budget spending for United States defense. But with AI technology, you can do more with less. It doesn't displace the intelligence of the human being, where you need to interfere. For example, you don't want automatically missile launching based on these AI feedback, but at the same time, you can use some of the AI technologies on the operations improvement or certain logistical areas. You can use those technology to improve and accelerate defense, while use those human beings for certain areas where do something more. So with the AI technology, you can do more with less. Hence, any deficit in or reduction in the funding could definitely can substituted by this AI.
What are some current challenges that you're facing with your business that you're trying to overcome, that you're faced with?
The typical challenges is always we are growing. The growth requires a lots of talented people. So talented people are the limiting factor for us to growth. We have the technology, we have the customer base. In order to continue our growth, we need lots of talented people, whether it is for our military operations. For example, Prolim has a government division where we need clearance certified US citizens. So those are the limitations or limiting our growth. If I say Q1 of this year, our government sector grew by 162%. In order to grow that momentum, we need the US citizens with clearance certifications.
Mm-hmm. Why is it, do you suppose, that there's a shortage of talent with clearance in this space? Obviously, since DARPANet came out, there's been a huge emphasis in developing software engineers and other talented professionals in the space in the United States for the last 30 years or so. But why is it that we've come up on this shortage?
So this PLM on IoT technology are a little bit complex. It requires a lot of experience to build. If you look at the youth grads coming out of colleges, right, the top universities and second tier universities, they love to go and work into some cool technology like the Meta or Google and those kind of companies. But when it comes to hardcore engineering and technology space, they are a little shy because it requires a longer run of your engineering domain background, the software background, then you need to have the field background. So there is a lot of knowledge required and it takes a longer time. And hence there is the grads coming out of that, they don't know how to choose it. That's why we started this program with Purdue University, where we started working them with the students in their second year, third year degrees, undergrad degree. We started giving them projects to get them vetted and learn, and as they grow, they can be the feeder for this program. So that's the path we are moving forward with that.
Is this a problem that nations are facing internationally, or is it a problem that's unique to the United States? How are we positioned when compared to entities like Russia or China or others that we compete with in the space?
Oh, the Russia and all, definitely they have much bigger challenges, because that's why if you look at their technology, is very, very old technology. They're spending more, but the technology is very old. The US has a large talent pool, but comes to commercial product development, I don't see much problem in the United States compared to military. The people joining the military are working in the military technology is less compared to commercial technology. With commercial, it can be global, like you can leverage resources from globally, whether it's Europe or Asia. China, I don't see they have much of a problem because there is a large populated country. They're emphasizing on those technologies. but US being the forefront of the technology and definitely is a huge, huge advantage.
So where can people find you and follow you as well as engage with your brand?
So there are many ways, many conduits. One is the LinkedIn is the best source because that's the standard trust mark. They can search Prabhu Patil or Prolim. They can Google. They can read all our the ratings, etc. That's way to touch base and engage the conversations.
Well, it's been an honor and a pleasure to have you on the Action and Ambition podcast. And I certainly hope you'll come back and join us as time passes and keep us updated as to how things are going with your growth.
Thank you, Jay. Thanks for your time.
Absolutely. Take care.
Thank you. Bye bye.